بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Aslan Rahman. This presentation is titled as Solar Pond. It is presented to engineer Zahra Khan, presented by myself and my other group mate Ahmad Asad. There is the outline of my presentation. It includes introduction, working principle, types of solar pond, that is of two types, convecting and non-convecting, example of solar pond like Pyramid Hill solar pond, El Paso solar pond and Bhuj solar pond. Moreover, its applications, maintenance and references. Introduction. The sun is the largest source of renewable energy, and this energy is abundantly available in all parts of the earth. Human being from its very beginning is trying to achieve this useful energy from the sun for useful purposes. Now one way to tap solar energy is through the use of solar pond. Solar pond actually are large scale energy collectors with integral heat storage for supplying thermal energy. Principle of solar pond. The solar pond works on a very simple principle. It is well known that water or air, when heated, they become lighter and rise upward. Just we can take the example of air balloon. Similarly, in ordinary pond, the sun rays heat the water layers are heated, and the heated water from within the pond rises and reaches the top, but loses the heat into the atmosphere. In fact, the heat is transferred from system to the surrounding. The net result is that the pond water remains at the atmospheric temperature. This means we are not able to trap the solar energy, we are not able to get the use of that solar energy. Now here comes the basic difference between a solar pond and an ordinary pond. The solar pond restricts its tendency by dissolving salt in the bottom layer of the pond, making it too heavy to rise. Principle. The solar pond can store solar heat much more efficiently than a body of water of the same size because of the two things. First one is salinity gradient that prevents the second one, that is convection currents. Now the two terms involved here are salinity gradient and convection. Salinity is a term which is basically used in geology. It is a saltiness or dissolved salt content in water. It is only used to describe the level of different salts such as sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, calcium chloride, etc. Salinity gradient means increment in the saltiness of water. The second term is convection. Convection is basically the movement of molecules within the fluids. For example, we can take the example in case of liquids and gases. This is in fact the major codes of heat transfer in thermodynamics. Its principle is that the solar radiation entering the pond penetrates to the lower layer which contains concentrated salt solution. This means that when the radiations enter the pond, it first passes through the first layer, then second layer, and then third layer, which is the bottom layer. Now these layers are also known as zone, which I will describe at the later stage. The temperature in this layer to which the solar energy is trapped rises since the heat it absorbs from the sunlight, and it is unable to move upward to the surface by convection. Here come the zones. Solar pond has basically three zones. They are divided into three zones. As you can see in the figure, the upper zone is surface zone, the middle zone is insulation zone, and the bottom zone is storage zone. It has an increasing concentration of salt. The top zone is a surface zone or upper convective zone. It is at ATM temperature and has a little salt content, which is the major source for fresh water. The bottom zone, also known as storage zone, as you can see, it is very hot. It has a temperature almost in range from 70 degree to 85 degrees Celsius and is very salty. It is a zone that collects and stores solar energy in the form of heat and is therefore known as the storage zone, also known as lower convective zone. And now separating these two zones is the most important zone, the middle zone, non-convective zone. Here the salt content increases as the depth increases. If we consider a particular layer in this zone, water of that layer cannot rise as the layer of water above has less salt content and therefore lighter. Similarly, water from this layer cannot fall even downward because the below layer has high salt content and is therefore heavier. Thus that we can say the gradient zone acts as a transparent insulator, permitting sunlight to reach the bottom zone but also entrapping it there. Here we come with the mechanism of electricity production or generation. In figure you can see that there is some apparatus, some pipes which are used for the transportation of hot water and cold water. There is an organic working fluid that runs the turbine, a condenser, a pump and solar pond. In order to extract the energy stored in the bottom layer, as I said earlier that energy is stored in the bottom layer, that's why that layer is known as storage zone. Hot water is removed continuously from the bottom, passes through a heat exchanger and they return to the bottom. Now to generate electricity, the heat stored in hot water is piped to an evaporator. The organic working fluid used in electricity generation is freon, liquid freon. Liquid freon is the evaporator. In the evaporator is heated and converted into gas. The pressure generated by the gas spins the turbine and electricity is produced by the generator. Freon gas is then cooled and recycled for reuse. Organic Rankine cycle engine. An organic Rankine cycle engine, abbreviated as ORCE, is used to convert waste heat from a solar pond into energy to drive a rotating shaft, which is used to drive a conventional alternator to make electricity. Most of the solar pond works with this engine, that is organic Rankine cycle engine. Categories of solar pond. They are basically categorized into two types. The first one is non-convecting solar ponds. They reduce the heat loss by preventing convection from occurring within the pond. And the second one is convective solar pond, which reduce heat loss by hindering evaporation and availing convection with a cover over the surface of pond. Convective solar pond. A well example of convective solar pond is shallow solar pond. As you can see in this diagram that there is a plastic blanket over the water surface. Now its principle is that this pond consists of a pure water enclosed in a large bag that allows convection but hinders evaporation. The bag has a blackened bottom. Its surface is blackened. It has foam insulation below and two types of glazing sheets of plastic or glass on the top. When sun heats the water in the bag during the day, at night this hot water is pumped into a large heat storage tank to minimize heat loss. You can see in the figure that there is a insulation, moisture barrier, plastic blanket, a blackened line and the surface. The other one is non-convective solar pond. It is subclassified into two types. The first one is salt gradient ponds and the other one is membrane pond. These two are very similar. Now first one, what is salt gradient pond? A salt gradient pond has three distinct layers of brine of varying concentration, that is increasing salinity and temperature, which is gradient zone. The density of the brine increases with salt concentration. The salt commonly used are sodium chloride and magnesium chloride. Other salts are also used, but they are used in trace amount. The dark colored material, polybutyl rubber, lines the pond. This is the lining of the surface of pond. The dark lining enhances absorption of the sun's radiation and prevents the salt from contaminating the surrounding soil and groundwater. This is the basic purpose for using butyl rubber. This is the picture of solar pond at Pyramid Hill, situated in northern Victoria, showing some mess of pipes running down the walls of pond. The plastic rings visible on the surface of water are used to reduce water movement caused by winds. The fresh water is circulated through them and is heated by saline pond water. This is the picture of Alice Springs solar pond, which is located in the place named Alice Springs with a Rankine engine. As I told, the majority of the ponds work with ORCE engine. This is one of example. Now Bhuj solar pond, another view of a pond which is located in India. that is Wood Solar Pond. It is an area of 6,000 square meter. It was actually the first largest scale pond in industrial environment to cater the actual user demand, supplied totally about 15 million liters of hot water to the dairy, and it is also a use of source for fresh water. This screenshot picturizes El Paso Solar Pond, which was a research, development and demonstration project initiated by University of Texas. It has operated since 1986 and has successfully shown that it processes heat, electricity and fresh water. Now we are up to the applications of solar ponds. The first one is process heat. The water is heated up to 90 degrees Celsius. This temperature is achieved due to the temperature of the bottom zone. When a large quantity of hot water is required, such as textile processing and dairy industries, hot air for industrial uses such as drying agriculture produce, timber, fish, chemicals and space heating are other some possible applications. Other one is desalination. Now first thing, what is desalination? It is actually the process that refers to the removal of salt and minerals. As I told you that solar ponds are also source for fresh water, which is provided by the upper surface zone. Solar pond can provide a cost-effective solution to the potable drinking water problem. Undesired minerals and salts are removed from the water and used as drinking source. The third one is refrigeration. Perishable products like agriculture produce and life-saving drugs, vaccines, they can be preserved for long stretches of time in cold storage using solar pond technology. Actually, there is a conjunction with ammonia-based absorption refrigeration system for the application of refrigeration. The fourth application, salt production, for enhanced evaporation or purification of salt, that is production of vacuum quality salt. This is actually the best type of salt. In aquaculture, using a saline or fresh water to grow, for example, fish or brine shrimp. In food industry like fruit and vegetable canning industry, fruit and vegetable drying, grain industry and also water supply. Now maintenance. Some problems also occur in the working of solar pond. It is not 100% efficient. For example, the first one we will see that growth of algae in the upper convective layer. This is a major problem. The pond transparency is not maintained. The gradient zone becomes unstable and is eroded. The salt concentration is also polluted. The increase in the depth of upper convective layer is a distinct disadvantage. How? It describes that the increase is mainly a result of convective currents due to large solar radiation absorption in the top few centimeters and the action of wind effects on the water surface, causing mixing of zones. A floating transparent plastic at or near the surface would reduce the effect of wind, but its main disadvantage is that debris settling on the surface can drastically reduce the amount of solar radiation transmitted to the convective zone below. What is debris settling? It is actually the settling of remains and particles of different solid things like wood, pieces, plastics, etc. A method to control using an enhanced rate of surface washing has the advantage of countering both convective overturn and wind steering. Again, we come up with the point of transparency. Good transparency is essential for pond performance. The transparency of pond is generally stimulated by the growth of algae, bacteria and the dirt falling, debris settling, etc. The growth of algae and bacteria are reduced by chemical treatment, and some chemicals are sprayed over them to reduce their growth. Here are some references from which I made my presentation, numbered almost 6. And in the end, I would thank you to all for watching.